Welcome to Happy Pupcast. I'm your host, Gabby Sloan, and today we're going to be speaking with Desiree and Taylor with Goldendoodle Acres.
I'm Taylor Becker.
And I'm Desiree Fritch, and we're with Goldendoodle Acres, and we specialize in breeding Goldendoodles and Bernedoodles. We're located in Neenah, Wisconsin, which is about 2.5 hours to 3 hours north of you guys at Happy Pup Manor and like the Chicagoland area. Janice Schomer, my godmother, is actually who started all of this back in the early 2000s, so over 20 years ago.
Tell us a little bit more about how Goldendoodle Acres was started. I know Janice started it. How did that go? What inspired her to kind of get all of that going?
Yeah, great question. So Janice actually grew up with dogs. Her mom, Rosemary, was a dog breeder, and it's actually kind of cute because the road we're on is Rosemary Lane, so it's named after her mom. They built on all this land. It was like just vacant land before that they owned, and then so they had to put in a street, and so they named it after her mom, which is really cool.
Aww.
So she was just always around dogs when she was younger and grew up with dogs and whelping litters at the time of I think she said 8 years old or something like that. So just really a long time. And then she got married, had a family, and then she decided that she wanted to become a breeder. And so she started breeding Goldendoodles, like I said, early 2000s. And then it kind of continued to grow and grow. And then she reached out to me, and I started working here in 2011. And we continued to grow and expand. And then Taylor's been one of my best friends since middle school. So she hopped on in 2019, and we're just going strong.
That's so awesome. Well, congrats, guys. The puppies that you breed right now, so you do Goldendoodles. So tell me a little bit more about what breeds you started with and kind of the progression of how did you get to those breeds, or why did you pick those breeds?
She actually, I believe, took in a foster puppy years back, and the name was Taffy, and they just fell in love with this dog. They were raising the dog because I believe it was going to be a service dog for a child with severe medical disabilities. And so they raised this puppy for a year, and then they had to obviously give him to be a service dog for this child, and they just fell in love with him. And she reached out wanting to know what kind of dog this was, and it turns out it was a Goldendoodle. And this is before Goldendoodles were all the rage and all over the place, back before anyone knew what a doodle was. So that's kind of how she got into that breed and wanted to go with Goldendoodles because of just the amazing temperament and just the fact that it can be a service dog, therapy dog, whatever kind of dog you want it to be. They really just take on the energy of their family and their people. So that's basically kind of how it all got started, and it's just been a really cool journey and story, and it's been growing and getting better and better every year.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So now you guys breed Goldendoodles and Bernedoodles. So tell me about from birth, what do you guys do with them to the day they go home?
A lot goes into it in their first 7 weeks of life with us. Day one, we weigh our puppies morning and night because we need to keep a good eye on making sure they're gaining weight and staying happy and healthy. Day 3, we start ENS.
ENS is early neurological stimulation, right?
Yes.
And why is that so important for you guys to do? What have you noticed? I'm assuming you guys started it very early on.
ENS was actually a study developed by the military, and what it does is it's 5 different positions that we put the puppies in for 3 to 5 seconds each. So it's only 15 to 25 seconds per puppy. But what it does is it actually puts a little bit of stress on their immune. It just stresses them out at a time they're not used to being stressed, right? Because these puppies at that time are just with mom and that's it. But taking them away from mom and putting them in these different positions and stressing them out a little bit has been shown that it creates just a more well-rounded, more docile dog, and that in situations where they might become aggravated or upset, they don't react. They're just a lot more mellow. So just basically it helps with their temperament and which is really cool.
And we start with sitting in the whelping box with them with an electric toothbrush, just putting it all over their body to get them kind of used to grooming.
I honestly find that fascinating. The toothbrush thing. I remember even when I went up to see the place originally, and Janice showed me that, and I was like, that is a game changer, because they get that feeling of what a clipper and a groomer is blade is on their body at such a young age. And I do find that your puppies have less no problems really getting groomed at all.
Yeah, it is a game changer. And a lot of people I don't think would think of that, but it definitely does make it easier for grooming for the puppy. And then after that, we move into walking around with them, just holding them with the toothbrush. We continue the electric toothbrush and just walking them all over the place. So they're seeing new things, being in different areas, new sounds, new smells. The following week after that, we move into surfaces. So they get used to tile, carpet, wood surfaces, concrete, gravel, grass. So they're not scared walking from room to room in your home. The following week, we start our clicker training. So we get them introduced to recall, sit. After that, we continue with the recall and sit, but we introduce the walking on a loose leash.
You really do loose leash walking?
Yes.
Oh my
At week
gosh.
6, we are introducing that to them.
Yeah. I mean, that's phenomenal because there's so many puppies that I see that really do have that opposition reflex where they feel the end of the leash and they just become a statue. So the fact that you
Yes.
do that at like before 7 weeks is just phenomenal.
And at week 3, actually, we introduce potty training
Yeah.
where we make their bedding area smaller and we put grates in. So they learn to come off of their play eating area onto the potty area because no dog wants to go potty where they're sleeping, playing, and eating.
And then on pickup day, that must be the hardest part of all of it for you guys.
It is. It's sad to see our babies go, but it's very rewarding when we bring the puppies out to meet their new families because the joy that the families have, and we just know that they're going to a great home. We tell all of our families is please reach out to us at all stages of your puppy's life because they're a part of our lives now and we are there for you for anything.
And people have just been so awesome too. Like when people come to pick up their puppy, it is like a mix of like the best and worst day because obviously we're really sad to be giving them up and like it's hard. But when people come and they're like so emotional and so grateful and just like so loving and you're giving them something that they're so in love with and you can just see it. It's honestly like it's unlike anything you can really like comprehend until you see it. It's just like it's so cool. So just being a part of that is really awesome.
Like giving somebody like a gift that you can't buy, like buy at the
Yeah.
store. You really put like your whole heart into
Yeah, it's a family member.
these puppies. Somebody wants to get a puppy from you guys. How does that work to kind of move forward with something?
So to start our process, we always want everyone that's interested to fill out a puppy application because we always just need some basic information like where you live, do you have kids, like how long is this puppy going to be alone? Because a new puppy can only be alone about 3 to 4 hours a day in total because of potty training. And if that application looks good, then we'll send an email reply just letting them know and saying like, hey, it looks great. Please give us a call whenever works for you so we can have a chat. Just because we always want to verbally speak with all of our families to make sure we're like all on the same page with how this process works. So they understand how our wait list works. So they understand how it works for getting a puppy from us. And just so we understand what they're looking for. So that's kind of like the beginning steps. And then after they're good with everything and they're like, yep, we're in, let us get on your general wait list. We'll take a deposit from them to get them onto our general wait list. Basically from that point, we just have a list of people in order of deposit received. And then with every litter that's born, we always start with the top of our list and work our way down the list. So then they have the opportunity to either say, yes, I'm interested in this specific litter. What would my placement be? Or, you know what, this timing doesn't work, or the gender doesn't work, or the size doesn't work, and just pass and wait for a different litter announcement. Because we never want to like push a family into getting a puppy if they're not ready. And we want to make sure that they're happy with what they're getting to.
So how long would you say somebody may be on the list?
It varies depending
Right.
on the time of year, the demand. It can be anywhere for a month to a couple months to, I mean, some people, if they're just not ready, wait years. So if someone's not ready for a puppy and they're getting litter announcements and they say like, hey, something came up or someone got sick or someone passed, obviously we don't want to push a puppy on them. So then they can wait even longer. So really, it really does vary.
One thing that makes you guys really, really unique and specialized a little bit is not only do you do Goldendoodles and Bernedoodles, but your puppies are all multi-gen, meaning they all have pretty much fleece coats. When you have those coats and things like that, and you're doing the multi-generation, tell me more about like allergy friendly. How does that like affect it? Because there is a little bit of a thought out there that curly coats are the ones that are more allergy friendly.
We do so much DNA testing and genetic testing on our parents that we've been able to breed out that curl, because there's so much research out there and people get very confused on the F1s, F1Bs. And yes, at the beginning of Goldendoodles, it was the fact that, yeah, an F1B is a lot less shedding, but we've now been able to test the curl gene and the shed gene to be able to breed in the wavy coat, but also keeping allergy friendly.
That's really nice that you guys are able to kind of say that with confidence of, yes, when you get a puppy from us, unless you're allergic to their saliva, right? That you're pretty certain that that one of your puppies are going to work for them, regardless if it's a Goldendoodle or a Bernedoodle.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely. You're allergic to grass, your dog's outside rolling in grass. We try to keep it clear, like you're allergic to the stuff your dog's bringing in, not the dog specifically.
Very much so. So is there anything else that you guys really want to touch upon or say that's really important to you for families to know about your puppies?
Getting a dog and knowing that you're ready for the commitment of a puppy and just preparing your family. I think a problem, especially that we saw like back during like COVID times, was just like impulse, like, oh, we need a dog, we want a dog. It's like now or never type of thing. And so it was a very like impulsive want. And we just want to make sure all the families are ready. They know their responsibilities. They're going to prepare for a puppy. They're going to invest in a great training facility like Happy Pup Manor, like get a good trainer, get someone that knows what they're doing, be ready for that, educate yourself, watch different videos and read books and go on YouTube and watch tutorials on different things and watch a blog or, you know, just different things like that, like look into it. So I think the biggest thing would just be, you know, really prepping everybody in your family, getting prepared, and just, you know, getting excited about it too, and just making it like a whole journey versus just a quick like, oh, let's buy this and take a puppy home. Like make it fun and make it an experience that isn't just about getting a puppy, but also the beforehand too, and about the after, you know?
Yeah, it's a lifelong commitment.
Yeah.
Very much a lifelong commitment, and getting everyone on the same page is super, super important, because everyone's going to train the puppy whether or not they like it, because any interaction is training a puppy. So everyone has to kind of be on the same page, whether they're doing a little bit or they're doing a lot with the puppy in general. They definitely need to be, they're part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So anything else at all before we wrap up?
I feel like there's so much that we can't get it in one day.
Days,
we'll be back. Don't worry. We'll be back. We'll do more.
I just want to say thank you so much for having us and for doing this with us. And I mean, just, you are amazing. Like everything that you do and the way you like are constantly growing and learning and then like expanding your business and your passion it's just been amazing. And you've done so much. And I think that just really goes to show. When your website's amazing. Your training methods are great. And I'm just really grateful that you thought of Goldendoodle Acres and you reached out to us, because we're really happy and excited to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
no,
really
thank
exciting.
You for being part of it. Honestly, this is like, it's so heartwarming that you guys were so generous with your time and just like excited to do this with me, because as I was telling Taylor the other day, this is something that I've been looking to do for the past decade in my head. And it's just been, a little too overwhelming and nervous, I would say, scared of like jumping right in. And this is it. So thanks for being the first one, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
To reach out to you guys, what's your website?
Our website is www.goldendoodleacres.com.
And then they just get to your contact page, fill out your puppy application, and then you'll get back to them.
And if you don't hear back from us within 24 hours to 48 hours, check your spam.
Yeah, and for anyone else that just wants to like follow us but not put in a puppy application, we have content on Instagram and TikTok, and our name is golden.doodle.acres. So they're also more than welcome to follow us on those social medias and on Facebook, Goldendoodle Acres.
I love your stuff. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll
thank
chat
you.
again soon.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anytime.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.